broadcasting live out of a basement in Appleton, Wisconsin. You're tuned into Fox City's Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio. We're the show that gives you an opportunity to call in and be a part of the show. Our call-in line is 920-358-0795. Core. If this is your first time tuning in, WCZR is an independent streaming rock station based out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Tune us in by going to the web player at live.codezeroradio.com, download the Code Zero Radio app, or find us on TuneIn or Get Me Radio. Let's move on to our guests for today. We've got a couple different guests today. We're going to have Carlo Champagne and the Balcony Brothers coming on later today. It's just an exclusive first interview ever for these guys. I'm really excited for that. But first, we've got a couple guys that have been on the show before, based out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. They're Superfriend Productions. They're also managers for Carlos Champagne and the Balcony Brothers. I'd like to welcome back Collin and Charlie. How are you guys doing?
Spectacular.
We're actually well rested this time.
Yeah, we are.
We talked about playing Super Monkey Ball for the entire night, but it was an evening.
We
forgot, and we're like, it was an evening thing too. So.
Oh wait, so you guys didn't actually stay up playing video games?
No, I stayed up working on stuff, actually.
Yeah, I actually got some work done last night for once.
For what? Yeah, you sent me the tracks I finally needed for something, and it's been nothing but high stonks at Superfriend Productions ever since the Bammies.
Well, you guys have been really busy. You did another Weezfest. There's another one coming up. What do you guys have on the burner currently?
Well,
first
Thursday.
thing, 4th of July is the first one coming up. Mm-hmm. Big show at Green Bay UFO Museum and Records in Green Bay for their 4th of July party. We're actually celebrating my friend Emily's dog Storm's birthday. Really good dog. Highly recommended if you ever get the chance to meet her.
What a good doggy.
But yeah, we're playing Modern Hauntings playing. Spencer Smet and the Average Funeral Costs are playing, and Sinking Lessons are playing.
Sinking Lessons. It's the first time Sinking Lessons and Modern Haunting are built together.
Yeah, they're going to be grilling out. They're going to be shooting off fireworks.
Drinking beers?
Maybe.
Well, Sinking Lessons, that's the band that you're in as well.
Yeah, so, it is. Ever since I moved to Appleton, I started working with Levi at Running Sound at Fox River House and Appleton Beer Factory. And then I was like, I also play guitar. He's like, you want to play guitar in Sinking Lessons? I'm like, let's friggin' do it.
And as they say, the rest is history.
The rest is history, and it continues to keep going. History doesn't stop for nobody.
Have you guys been doing recording for Sinking Lessons?
Yeah, we're actually, like, right before I got here, we were working on our debut single. Let's call it, I always forget, Smoke Inhalation. That's the name of it. We're, like, getting into the nitty-gritty of it. Like, we literally spent, like, 45 minutes today on just, like, a half of a second of the song. Like, does the plosive on up sound really bad? So we redid up, like, 4 times and like to get it right, and they're like, okay, it finally feels good. And now we're on like the small tiny like production stuff. We're
the
trying to get that
was
out.
too scrongly.
It was too much scrongle on
too
up.
Much scrongle. You sent it to me and I almost threw up.
Yep, that happened.
Can you tell me a little bit about Superfriend Productions, what exactly it is that you guys do? What exactly is Superfriend Productions?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's just an excuse for us to hang out and drink beers. But like, we're trying to get more into doing some of like the like, we've had people approach us. They've seen some of the promos we've done and see if there's any way that we could like provide that service to them. So it's more than just like a flagship for the shows that we do, but it's actually starting to maybe turn into something where we're like creating something of value for somebody other than ourselves.
Yeah, we needed a name to like put behind Weezfest after the first one was kind of a success, and Superfriend is the name of like a Rivers Cuomo demo from 1996, and it also kind of described our working relationship. So we decided to call it that, and we've just been making dumb videos and dumb podcasts and doing dumb shows ever since.
Yep.
Well, we talked about it when you were here the last time. You were doing a podcast, and you haven't really done a whole lot of that.
We put out one episode.
Yeah. There's one on the back burner as soon as Collin finishes editing
Here's the thing.
It's 6 months old at this point.
I quit my job so that I've been through, so there's like a lot of...
Focus on Weezer.
There's like a moment in like a lot of creatives maybe's lives that they get to experience where they get to like quit their job to pursue their passion. I've gotten to do it 2 times at this point. I did it like 3 years ago, and then I did it last Saturday.
Yeah.
We're done. I'm done working for a living.
It's all Weezer all the way out now.
I'm here to. I'm riding those Weezer coattails ever since. Yeah.
Well, and the Weezer shows, as mentioned last time, have been getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And
we did a Wednesday one.
Wednesday night, we had 75 people show up on a Wednesday night. Like,
that's
Yeah.
great.
that never happens.
My favorite part about that was bringing on Hang 10 for that.
Man.
And, like, they came and crushed it. And then also, like, there's so many people that we knew at Weezfest that were like, who are these guys? Like, do they play often? And, like, not as much as I'd like them to, but, like, yeah, go see any of their projects. Like, they're all so good.
Hang 10 was, didn't they say they were going to be playing like the deep cuts from Weezer? Is that what they ended up?
They
they
played
do that?
Beverly Hills.
Oh,
But it sounded way better than anything we did. For like they crushed it.
Yeah.
They sounded better than what we tried to do.
That was there's always like the moment whenever we do shows with like real serious bands where they're playing before us and then we're sitting there like, oh no.
It's like it's a good thing we're not doing anything we've
Everyone's
created.
gonna leave. Yeah.
well, is there anything you can tell us about the next Weezfest that you're working on? Any surprises?
I'm gonna say it on here on the air.
We're doing it.
Diet Light, the beer offer still stands. I know it's been a few weeks since we were in the DMs.
Here's a
We
you wanna hear
have
a little,
the beer. We have it.
Actually, here's the thing. I drank it.
But you got more.
I drank like most of that beer, but there's still 100 clean beers in it for you, Diet Light. I'm telling you.
It's there. Yeah, I think we're gonna play the Blue album all the way. That was our grift for Weezfest 2.5. Is we said we're playing Weezer's self-titled album, but it was the 13th anniversary of the Green album, so we did that whole one instead.
Yep.
And but yeah, Diet Light, the offer's out there.
Yeah.
Let's see if how long did they have to accept the offer? Is there a time limit?
Nope.
They could call us the morning of, and we'd still have them.
Yep.
Well, I have to point out your shirt, Sinner and the Saint.
Yeah.
So Modern Haunting has recently gotten a new member, and I think that ties in with that.
Yeah, Natalie Hoffman, who's the keyboard player for the Sinner and the Saint, has joined us, and Sinner and the Saint has been one of my favorite local bands, like since I kind of started going to shows again, sort of post-pandemic. Just their energy is awesome, their music is awesome, and every single person in that band is like a true sweetheart.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when she said she was available to join, we sat down, we had a coffee, and I was like, this is gonna be a great fit. And I feel like she brings kind of some of that punk energy to the band, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And we just have a great time.
Charlie and I are posers, so
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it that during the Modern Haunting show I was at, you mentioned that she was wearing a Sinner and the Saint shirt.
Yeah.
She texted me like that morning. It was like, should I wear a Sinner and the Saint shirt or like whatever? I forget what the other shirt was because we were getting some pictures taken. And I was like, you have to wear your own band shirt. Like you have to.
Yeah, if there's anything we know how to do, it's self-promote. So why shouldn't other people be allowed to do it?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of promoting, you promote the guests that we're going to have on next, which it's a band that really hasn't done a whole lot of press, so not a whole lot's known about them. It's Carlo
hard to-
Champagne and the Balcony Brothers.
Yeah.
Which,
It's hard to get them out of there, like they're old at this point. Like I
it's
can't really keep track of their age at this point.
I mean, up until a year or two ago, they hadn't done a show since I think '87 was their last show.
That was the famous Hollywood Bowl incident.
Yeah, the Hollywood Bowl incident.
what was the Hollywood Bowl incident?
I don't think we're supposed to.
I'm getting one of these from
Yeah,
someone over there.
Yeah, it's best to let that one. You can look at the Wikipedia and find info. But I mean, they're just one of those legendary Wisconsin bands that's been doing it for so long. And I think when the opportunity came for us to kind of help them start booking shows again, it was like more people need to this new generation needs to know about these guys because they influence so many people.
Yeah, it's like you're given the rare opportunity to because they're kind of starting up from scratch again, so they're playing a lot smaller shows than they're used to playing back in the day. Selling 100,000, 200,000 tickets a show, and now they're getting back to their grassroots.
Well, when was the first time you heard them? Do you remember?
Well, you pulled the record out of the old Exclusive Company trash.
Yeah, out of the dumpster at the Exclusive Company, I found this just like blank record, and I opened it up, and it said Luxury Suite Test Pressing. I'm like, what is this? And I did a lot of digging, and it was like an unreleased. I don't know how it ended up there and how it ended up in the trash, but it was an unreleased test pressing of one of their albums. And that's when we kind of started digging and finding out, when to or how to contact these guys. But it was really, that was just, it blew me away how good the music was and how like still modern it sounded.
It's crazy because like we took that test pressing and then we threw it on one of our record players and just like put a SM57 up next to it, and that's what currently they only have like the one EP released right now, and that's just like those test pressings released. And I was like, I had a moment with their guitarist Vic Corvette, where he's like, I'd love to get these songs some new life, and I was like, I can help you with that. So I've been going back and mixing that, and I actually had a kind of a hostile moment with him, where I was like, so this is my standard rate for doing this kind of stuff, and he just stared at me for like 25 minutes, and I was like, he kept working me down, and then I was like, I'll just do it for free if you just get off my back for this, man. I don't know. Maybe he can talk to you about it later. I don't know.
Well, I mean, how did it make you feel? Because obviously you looked up, to them, but also at the same time you can't be doing stuff for free. So did that kind of make you look at them differently?
Yeah, a little bit. Here's the thing. Like every interaction I have with them is kind of like this weird dichotomy of like people need to hear this music, but at the same time, like it's kind of frightening, like meeting these kind of like old celebrities in person and just kind of the energy they bring, and it's terrifying, just to say the least.
Yeah.
Like, I know you have the song Terrified. I don't know if that has any significance to Carlo.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can get into that. So I kind of sampled part of that song from one of their songs. And I was given permission by them to do so. But it was that is sort of about my experience being so like starstruck. And I mean, when you meet them, they're just these imposing dudes and you don't know what they're going to do, So it was, but all that to say, having the opportunity to work with legends like that and, doing promo for them and all the stories of like life on the road and everything, it's just been an invaluable resource, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we've carried from our interactions with them for maybe how we don't want to compose ourselves on stage or in person.
Yeah, some of their shows can get kind of
rowdy. The green room at our first Lyric Room reuniting show, I think they went off the deep end, and I remember like being in a hospitalized for probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Cuts and bruises, everything.
Man, I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad you can talk about it now.
Yeah, I know we were talking with them before the show. Is like, what are we able? Oh, I'm getting this again.
Okay.
Right, can we move
Sorry.
on?
Well, how did that band influence your bands and what you're playing, your style?
It's the energy on the stage, honestly. Yeah. Just bringing like a massive energy in a small club. I think that's something that they're very, very good at. I think they're very much able to like bring that heavy energy even to just like a funk show.
Yeah, and I know specifically like talking about Modern Haunting too, like the use of like gated reverb on a snare drum is just like a lot of people think of that as kind of like a dated 80s sound, but the way they did it was just like, it's so fresh and it's so like, it crosses the line of cheesy and comes back around to like beautiful, It just like, I'm going to tear up just thinking about it. Just the way, it's crazy. Thank you.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah.
It's kind of touching to see like what they've meant to you guys, and it's pretty cool that you get to manage them now. Which manage them
at an arm's distance, like I'm totally happy making because I think like the last time their keyboard player Skid Montana used an email, I think he sent out like 16 emails to random women. Like he got 6 wives out of it, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't know how that works. Who can keep track?
But yeah, it's just the lessons we've learned. I feel like we wouldn't be where we're at today without those relationships we have with those guys.
Well, and Collin, you said you did some work to record them again. I mean, how did that whole process go?
Oh, so actually, I was lucky to talk to one of their old. I got in contact with one of their old studio engineers who had sworn to never work with them again, but he still had the stems floating around. So I got sent those, and Keith McGuire had sat in with me for mixing those sessions, and it was probably, we were coming off like a 45-hour mix session and like hadn't gotten any sleep, and he's still like coming back with more and more energy, and I just don't understand how that man does it. But yeah, we were able to get through one of them, and that's going to be City Rock 5000, which I think we got sent over to you.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, good.
You want to kind of tell me a little bit of what you had to do to get that track to pop?
Oh, to get well, here's the thing. Their original recording budget was like, so here's a fun little fact about recording sessions back in the day. They had a percentage of the budget was for the fade out engineer. Mm-hmm. And a lot of speculation is that you don't need to pay that much money to a fade out engineer. They were using that for drugs. And I was looking at the budget for like that fade out engineer was 90% of their budget. So like there was like so many shortcuts taken, but everything sounded like it was just done with one mic, and it was just very flat. So I just brought it in, and I actually started adding some top end, and I started
sorry to interrupt. Wasn't the lead vocal recorded like 12 hours before? It was like super last minute, wasn't it?
Oh, for the original recording?
Yeah.
It came in hot. Like they
had to ship it off
Yep.
like the next morning, and they recorded it like it was like 4 a.m. or something.
They called in a favor to get a private jet to like deliver that last vocal take, because they kept trying to get their old get Carlo to go in and do that take, but he was off partying with some the elites of the time. So
let's just bring in the band. My next guests recently released their unreleased tracks on an EP titled Selections from Life in the Luxury Suite. They'll be appearing at Mile Music this year in Appleton. I'd like to welcome Carlo Champagne and the Balcony Brothers to Fox City's Core. How are you guys doing this evening?
Hello, it is very good to be here.
Spectacular.
Luxurious.
Thanks for doing this. You guys have never sat down, all of you guys, and done one interview ever.
I don't think we've even sat down together ever. We're always on the go these days.
Skid, it's very hard to get you to stay in one place at once. You got so many divorce hearings these days, it seems.
I figured out how to do them remote recently, and it's pretty good.
Oh, your nephew helped you set it up.
It goes by a lot quick. You do things via DocuSign. It's pretty easy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good.
Interesting.
So,
it's via email. My nephew helps me out with that.
Could your nephew come help me out? I got some stuff I got to take care
iPad?
of.
You got some stuff on the iPad?
Yeah, he's one of those iPad kids, ain't he?
Oh, yeah. The screen ages.
I don't want to cut in. I know you guys are having a conversation over there, but I wanted to ask. So, first of all, why re-release that unreleased material? What brought you guys to the decision to kind of start over and get back out there?
Well, the very nice young man Calvin came.
It's Colton.
Colton with his Happy Friends Productions came to us, and they said that the kids are liking the music. So I know Skid could use the funds, and
it's good. And if you love something, set it free.
That's beautiful.
And those were good. Those were good times.
And then
gotta set it free and set free the money.
And the last piece of the puzzle.
Account.
Sorry, Skid.
Sorry.
The last piece of the puzzle was we went to Weezfest.
Ah, yes, the Weezer Fest.
My nephew took us to the Weezer Fest, and we saw this amazing talented young drummer. Thomas Killian, who was the missing piece of the puzzle. So
ever since the incident with our last drummer, the Tallahassee incident.
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about it.
Not going to Tallahassee nothing. Okay.
Thomas Killian.
Thomas Killian.
I'm glad to be on board.
This young man.
You don't get to. We never said you get to talk, buddy.
No, let him. This young man.
You sure about this?
He knows how to stir the soup.
He knows too much.
So
you ask me.
Thomas, you don't really seem like you talk as much as the other guys in the band.
I'm more of a listener,
He's a very down-to-earth guy.
Oh, my God.
He's so
talented.
No,
it's incredible.
I love being with these gentlemen. And
Thomas, you're too nice. Tone it down.
Has the band always been the four of you? When it started, has there been other members over the course of your career?
Well, let's see. I joined in 81. Skid, you joined what? 70...
76. One of the
76?
Yeah, it could be 79. They kind of look like in my brain. They look the 9 and the 6 get flopped around, you know.
Vic, you started out and then you left and then you came back and then you left and then you came back.
Huh?
And then you rejoined. 2000? No.
It's a pretty funny story.
84?
84
was when you rejoined.
Is how old my grandmother was when she told me. She told me that she said I was gonna pick up the guitar and I was gonna make it real far.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
And wasn't those were the lyrics to the song you wrote about your grandma, right?
Oh yeah, that one was called Glitter Nights.
I thought that was Glitter and Glitz.
No.
Though that was the album.
That was Ballroom Glitz.
Yeah. Ballroom Glitz. That was the album.
Yeah. Oh, that was...
What a classic. What a classic. Alvin, if you'd ever heard Galvin and the Glitz.
Look it up on your Spotify.
Your YouTube.
Yeah,
is what the kids have these days.
Did we introduce each of you yet?
Huh? No.
Do you each want to just kind of go down the line and say who you are? And we know we talked about Thomas over there.
Thomas, yeah.
Thomas, he's such a good drummer. I'd love to talk about Thomas.
My name is Keith McGuire. I play the bass guitar and I sing. And my name is Keith McGuire. And my friend here.
And Keith, buddy. Keith. I love you, Keith.
And my friend.
What are we doing?
Skid Montana.
I am Skid Montana hyphen Rodriguez hyphen Doggone hyphen Onondaga hyphen I got too many hyphens these days, man.
Why you got so many hyphens? Have you told the people about that?
I always take their last names, but
Skid has the record for most ex-wives in the state of Wisconsin. Actually, you can look that up.
I think in the tri-state.
I've had more last names than anyone has ever had.
It's
probably.
True.
Why have you been stacking them up instead of just dropping them?
I kind of, the thing is I keep them to remember them. Remember my ex-wives. Keep them kind of the memory kind of thing. It didn't mean nothing, but then what I forget is you gotta remember their first names too, and I kind of have trouble with that one.
That's beautiful. That's
beautiful. But
beautiful,
it's just about love,
You're such a giver, Skid. That's what I love about you.
And this tall drink of water at the end here.
Huh?
What's your name?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say I'm in the midst of a couple of court battles right now. I don't know if I'm supposed to be
key
here.
Phrases that the guys in the coats were laying out.
That's there's I don't know, the super buddies over there were talking about some figures over here giving us the old hand, but you know what? I'm Victor Corvette.
Say it loud and proud, my man.
Victor Corvette, baby.
And what do you play? We didn't say what instruments you
play. I play the lead vocals sometimes, and then I play the backup vocals sometimes.
Yep.
And then I play the lead guitar sometimes, and then I play the rhythm guitar sometimes.
Skid, what do you play?
I play keys. The musical kind.
Yeah, man.
Sorry.
Well, this is, again, thank you for doing this. Can you give me a brief history of the band, start up until the point you decided to reform?
What was it, 73?
I think Carlo reached out to us via carrier pigeon,
well, it was a snowy,
as was the custom.
It was a snowy day in Pulaski, Wisconsin.
That's right. I remember it well.
The Packers were doing horrible.
Not doing so good. Those were my boys.
Yeah, and Carlo reached out, as you said, and he said he was putting together a hot new band that was going to take us all over the world.
Now, Carlo had been writing in secret, unbeknownst, because he was in the original Tower of Power lineup. He was a backup conga player.
You see, you got to make... He was in Power Tower. It's not... You can't... It's not...
He was in...
Power Tower. They were from Sobieski. Power Tower.
Power
Power Tower, and then
Power Tower.
So, anyways, we
And, yeah.
joined up. We put out, what was that first record? Diamond Dusted Fingertips.
That was Diamond Dusted Fingertips.
That was a classic.
Classic.
That
What a
was
classic.
And then, of
It's
course,
my favorite album.
81 did the soundtrack for Crime Busters 3, Big Crime, Big City. Huge,
Oh my God.
huge in Japan.
It was crazy because they never released the second
They
one.
never.
Are we going back to Japan?
I don't know, man.
We're going.
And then, of course, 84, the Pabst Corporation of Japan hired us to
Yes.
write the commercial for Japanese PBR.
Yep.
Different recipe.
Yes.
You can't get it over here.
It's like the Coca-Cola.
And then
Oh,
of beer.
the Coca-Cola beers.
79, we had the Getting Frisky and Sabisky tour.
Oh.
That was, we can't actually legally talk about that.
I don't even want to.
We can talk about the fact that was when we released Rock Hard Solid.
Rock Hard Solid, and that
I think
got a lot
a
of radio
classic.
play.
That other thing
That
I
was-
don't even want to legally think about, but
Yeah,
Rock Hard Solid
that
was
was
pretty
man.
rock.
Funny how those two
Pretty
things
hot and
tie
pretty
in
solid.
together.
It's sad that they had to tear that studio down. After. It's sad.
Here's the
They
smell.
did it pretty quick too.
Yeah.
They couldn't get out the
They
smell.
just couldn't wait to get that, just get it gone, you know.
Then there was the tour with Miles Davis.
Miles Davis after he came back
After Miles Davis and
is the
then,
one where he wouldn't face the crowd.
No, and then I think somewhere in there put out what was that other record called? Oh, it was Carlo's
Carlo Goes Calypso.
Carlo Goes Calypso.
Classic.
Yeah,
That one
got
was a
lot-
classic.
That one got a lot of radio play. And then we kind of, Carlo had to go away for a while. So
He had fallen in with a bad crew,
bad crew,
and that's how it goes.
right when we were working on
It's a shame.
Life in the Luxury Suite, which I think would have been the finest of all of his albums.
Had
but
it come out, I think would have changed the musical landscape of the world as we know it. Alex.
But those two nice young boys, Chris and Colvin, found the tapes somewhere, and they polished them up real good, and now you can hear it on your Apple Music.
That's I remember Colton and I were in the room together, and he said he wanted to do it, and then I told him, I was like, how much money do you want for this, kid? And then I fell asleep. I don't know what he was talking about, but I woke up and he said he'd do it for free.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
you got to save money.
I have to cut in for just a moment here. We had Collin and Charlie on. Or it's Collin and Charlie. You get
Colton?
Chris and
No.
Colton.
Calvin.
Calvin. Yeah, we
Calvin.
played Calvin's birthday party last year.
That's right.
No,
nice
no,
young
it's
man.
Collin and Charlie.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Which one?
The manager.
Collin and
Nephews.
Charlie.
But-
So
Who?
you were talking
The
about
the Superman.
The super
The
dudes.
Supermans. Yes.
you guys were talking about Collin recording. It was Collin that was recording, and I think he mentioned he was going to do it. He wanted to be paid, but then like you guys kept complaining, and then he did it for free.
I don't remember that.
I wasn't
I don't think
there.
that happened.
I'll tell you, I
These
gotta.
kids,
I
man,
still,
with
I
their
keep
iPads.
forgetting to apologize to that
Huh?
Charlie fellow for. I know he sampled our song, and we gave him.
Oh yeah, his haunted castle. Man.
Yeah,
Yes,
we gave him
yeah.
permission, but we forgot that we had done that, and so we started to sue, and it got way too close.
Yeah, it's okay.
It too close
He's
to
a
home.
good kid. They're good kids.
But it brought us together.
I'm sorry, what was the
important.
question?
It was. Well, first of all, I was just letting you know that their names were Collin and Charlie.
Yeah, the
it's
Superman.
Yeah,
it's modern haunting, not
Yep.
Yeah, Haunted Castle is all
Haunted
the same.
castle.
Yeah, and so my question was not really a question. I guess that you guys have me all scrambled over here. You guys just keep getting facts wrong. I don't know how you managed to even be a band. for
Well,
that long.
that's why we have these nice young men to handle our social medias.
Yep.
They get on they're on LinkedIn,
They stay sharp so we can stay smooth. You
on the
know?
That's right.
YouTube. They keep us up to date with the hot new sounds of today. I hear, I don't know, I hear this. My nephew showed me this new song called "Thrift Shop" by Macklemore.
I've been to it. I almost owned a thrift shop
Yeah.
for about 3 days.
Macklemore.
Yeah, so that's what the kids are listening to. It's catchy.
That's catchy
too.
stuff?
Yeah.
I might have to. You got that on the radio here? You got the thrift shop?
Nah, we're a rock station, but I mean,
Oh,
that not rock?
Rock and roll.
I don't think.
I
rock and
remember.
roll.
I remember.
I
rock and
remember
roll.
rock and roll, baby.
Oh yeah.
well,
Yeah.
so
You did a good job with that.
you guys kind of explained how you formed up to the point that you stopped playing, and then Collin recorded you guys, or recorded the 4 songs that you were working on when you broke up, and put those out. How did that sound to finally hear those songs finished and released, and what was the feedback like?
Instantaneous.
Haven't listened to it.
I heard
can't-
that
I
the
can't go
feedback
back.
was instantaneous.
The
People listened to it.
There was a lot of people talking at once,
I can't.
What?
and I never like when too many people are talking at once.
I can't think about those
I'll listen to
days.
you guys talk all day though.
Huh?
Huh?
Tell me about the past again. It was fun. It was kind of fun to sleep.
My nephew was telling me about this. Andrew,
God,
maybe you
miss
can tell me
Carlo.
about this. This thing called Instagram.
Yeah. So you
Um,
can look at pictures or whatever you want.
It's
They
a
got-
picture. I thought it was the delivery
So
service.
I typed in.
Graham crackers.
I typed in cat, and it could, or whatever, car, whatever you want to see. It types it in and it shows it to you.
That's fucking.
That's
wow.
awesome.
I mean, can we swear on? Oh, we could.
It was awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, Instagram is I think what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
it's social media. Which social media, when you guys were originally going through, as the beginnings of your band, wasn't around. Like, how did you promote back in the old days?
We'd scream it. So we'd go into other shows that weren't. We would crash other shows that weren't ours, and we'd go in and then we still tell everybody, "Hey, there's a show happening down the block. You ain't gonna want to miss it." Carlo Champagne himself is playing for the masses.
You could get an ad in the Press Gazette for $1.95. The Green Bay Press Gazette, $1.95. You could put whatever you want, and so we would just say, "Show tonight. Be there or be square."
Yes.
And they love that. That
was a
knocked
classic.
them dead every time.
That was a
Knocked 'em
classic.
dead.
They didn't want to be square.
No, who would?
Who wants to
They
be
don't want
square?
to be square.
You
got-
get it.
I've got a question for Thomas.
Oh, hey, Thomas.
Thomas, when did you get here, buddy?
No, I'm just here for the ride. I'm enjoying it.
Do you have
Are you here to play drums, Thomas?
He's on
I
the
certainly hope
radio.
so.
do you like these guys?
I love them.
That's our sweet kid.
That's what we
sweet
traded
kid.
this. I mean, what we
When they
told,
called me,
what he would say.
It's a classic.
Okay, so when you heard the release, the new release, it sounds like you didn't really have feedback one way or another. Well, you had feedback, but you didn't really have an opinion on how the songs turned out? Or did you tell Collin, give him any advice, like, that sounds good, or thanks for recording this?
Keith, I think it was you in the session for that. I know Skid and I were off. We were off on a little cruise.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm
You
saying.
know-
Oh, we were off. All right.
Oh, we were off, baby.
The music these days that the kids are making, they go on their computer and the chat GGT and they type in "gimme drums," and it makes it play drums, and there's no art behind it. There's no music. What are you laughing at? It's true. It's true. Okay, and to see a true professional like Colton come in and put in the work, it brings a tear to these guys are crying just thinking about it because it brings a tear to your eye. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional over it, but see,
Colton did such a good job.
That's why I didn't listen to it,
Colton
because
is
it just
my
brings me
favorite
back
nephew.
to those days.
This is off the record.
And I think about how
This
music
isn't
has just
live,
gone down the tubes. It's all these rap and rolls and all these hey mans and what haves you, and I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of it.
Play a real instrument.
Was our
I'm
manager.
sorry. I'm
our-
just gonna say
Our
it.
manager Chris was showing some of his Haunted Castle stuff,
And
it's garbage.
It's garbage. What's that song, Perfect Dark? It's terrible. He says he watched a movie and then made a song about it. How about you write about something good, like
That's
like
the only
a
thing
woman
he talk about
or a
is
vacation?
this movie, Perfect Dark.
Or a woman on vacation.
Actually, that my old friend Bill Paxton was in that film.
Bill Paxton was in Perfect
yeah,
Dark.
yeah, Bill Paxton was
It's
in
a
that
good
film.
kid. He's a classic.
He was a good kid. Yeah, he was a good kid.
He's a classic. I'm sorry.
What
What was
was
the
the
question?
I don't even remember anymore, but it was okay. The EP. There's a picture of like a sunset, palm trees.
Oh, yeah.
What inspired the cover?
It was a little sunset getaway we had back in '83. We
Yeah.
took a Carlo's cruiser.
Went down
and
to
we-
Milwaukee.
Went along the beach, went a little off the beach, went a little off the road there.
That's because I wanted to go where I
Uh-huh.
felt, where I was feeling. That's part of vacation, you know. You got to get away.
Well, we ended up in Sheboygan, I think. We didn't make it.
I
to
woke up in
Milwaukee.
Sheboygan. I do
Yeah.
remember that.
And that's the song. I woke up in Sheboygan. That's where that
Sunset
comes
Getaway,
from.
yeah.
Oh, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah,
You,
man.
you guys are notorious for just. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happened at your shows, and you guys have done a lot of stuff. But being in the social media age, to kind of close the loop on that, is it a little scary now because you can't get away with doing things and then denying it like you
We
could?
can get I mean, sorry, no,
Yeah,
nothing.
I mean,
Here's
for
the
example,
thing, my
you-
lawyer, he's not giving me this, so I'm gonna keep talking. But I recently, if anyone has seen, I'm here to say I've been allegedly found guilty on all 69 cases of I'm not getting it now. None of it happened.
It's okay. It's okay. No, I mean we all I can say is that we know a lot of people that are in the boat business.
That's, all these kids and their iPads, and you can go onto the Facebook, and then you don't know what's real anymore. So I just say, it's just ChatGPT made it.
ChatGPT.
It can make a picture. You can type in a picture of a car, and it'll
Yeah.
give you a picture of a car. So I just say ChatGPT made it, and then it's fine. You could type in our name, and it'll
Yeah.
give you a picture of it.
That's a good point.
So,
I think it was ChatGPT
it was
that made all those
ChatGPT.
crimes.
Chad is good at making all those things, but you're saying Chad can't.
He can.
He can't play guitar. You know,
Huh?
he can't play the guitar.
What was the question?
What was the question?
Do you guys feel that you're going to have problems at Mile of Music?
Yes, the
Congratulations, you guys
mile
were-
Oh, the
of
music mile,
The
yes.
mile of
You
music.
guys were announced to play, which is pretty exciting that you guys are going to be coming to Mile of Music 11 this year. Are you worried that possibly somebody's going to take
Well,
a picture or video or something and
when
maybe
we-
derail your career, end it as quick as it picked up?
When we did it back in '86,
That's right.
That
That was mile negative 10, I think.
No, it was the Music Mile, and it was in
What?
it was in Dubuque.
I thought.
Oh yeah, that was a classic.
But the way I see it is any publicity is good publicity,
and everything
we're
else is
excited to-
ChatGPT.
They tell us that the people of Appleton have a real appreciation for real music,
Yeah.
like the type of stuff we're doing, real instruments. So I'm excited for the kids. Maybe we can teach some of these other bands a lesson
How
about,
to do it a little bit.
show them what it means.
I'm looking at you, Colvin, over here.
Yeah,
Colvin over here has this stupid little box that he puts his guitar into. Colton. Calvin over here has a little box that he plugs his guitar into.
He doesn't even use an amplifier.
He doesn't use an amplifier, and I'm telling you, man, it's the most garbage thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
What
But
kind of equipment are you guys using? Are you using the same equipment you used back in the 70s? Or
Oh, I
did you-
can't do that. My back hurts too much.
So you're using like a solid state amps?
My nephew sets it all up. He just hands me the bass, and I walk on the stage. I try not to even look.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Last show we played, I didn't see an amplifier,
Here's
but
the thing.
I don't know.
The tone comes from here, and it comes from here. Okay, everything else is external. You don't need that.
You're right.
You don't.
No, that's
The
true.
music comes from here.
That's true.
I know I did. Speaking of the mile of music, I did. I don't know if we got it, but I requested a backline amp rig for Thomas over here for his snare drum because the classic Carlo sound is a snare drum put into a gated reverb fed through a Fender Deluxe with a reverb cranked. It's if you haven't tried it, it's absolutely
Don't
gorgeous.
give away. Don't give it. This.
There's- if you think that's the only secret.
It's trademarked.
That's the kind of sound that like kind of massages your insides.
Oh baby,
Gives you a
it's
hug,
a classic.
a little hug.
And then, so you got to tune. You tune to 439, not 440.
440 is a myth.
439 is a little relaxed.
That's right.
A little relaxed.
But here's the trick: is you don't tune the keys.
You can't tune the keys.
You can tune a fish, as my old man said.
There it is. There it is.
Sorry, what was the question?
The mile.
The Mile of Music. I'm very excited to play. Thank you for having us in.
What was about the equipment, like if you're using like the older or new equipment?
Well, I'm playing my 1971 Fender as custom. It's a precision bass, but it's 3 millimeters of extra wood.
Oh,
And what it does is
all the difference.
And then it's got solid gold in the wood. And then it's got the strap is made out of zebra hide. And what
I
that
remember
does,
the day you got that, you cried.
and then it's got crystals in the wood.
I don't mean to cut you off. We have a question here, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, what's your question? I thought we had a question here.
Oh,
No question.
Huh?
what was the question?
The question dropped. So, yeah, I'm really sorry I cut into your story there.
You talk about zebras and crystal.
Zebras and
Don't
crystal.
bring up
I remember
crystal.
that was a track off of Diamond Dusted Fingertips.
that was
Zebras
it. Yeah, it was-
Zebras and crystal.
Zebras
Yeah,
and crystal.
man, we should bust that out.
Oh, we should play that at the Mile of Music.
Oh, the kids will love it.
Skid, what piano are you rocking these days? You were playing the Rhodes for so long.
I think we're going to try this again.
Oh.
You're on the air with Carlo Champagne and the Balcony Brothers. What's your question? There we go. There we go.
I let you stay at my place. I let you crash at my place after you played in Cincinnati a few years ago.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember me, but you took my dog, and when you left, and I didn't say you could take my dog. So I'm just wondering where my dog is.
What's your dog's name?
There's a lot of dogs we got.
There's a lot of dogs that we got.
So you take a lot of dogs, is what you're saying.
They come. They just
They
come
come
with.
with.
it.
They
They
jump
just come
in.
with.
They jump in the van. It's
It was in our contract. I don't
just
know if you
business.
remember
you would
reading
have read
that.
what you signed.
No, I didn't sign the contract.
Yeah.
Well,
you
then I'm
signed it.
sorry. This won't hold up in court. Next
My lawyer's
question.
on standby right here. He says you signed
I want
it.
my dog back.
I don't know nothing about no.
I don't think
He's
I've ever
just
been
saying.
to
I
Cincinnati.
don't recall ever being to Cincinnati.
I don't think we've ever been
I
even
don't
in Ohio.
recall ever being to Cincinnati.
We took a
I'm
dog
coming
from
down.
Florida.
I'm coming down there.
I don't know about all
I
that.
don't know about all that.
Well, thank you for the call. Well, that's kind of scary, you guys. I mean,
Huh?
That was ChatGPT.
That was him. It was ChatGPT. He called in. I knew it. I knew he's coming after us, man. I told you this was a bad idea, man.
I knew we shouldn't have did this.
well, it's that kind of thing. Like, does that happen a lot? You didn't sound
Phone
happy.
calls? Like, we
No, I
get
don't-
phone calls, yeah.
What do phone calls happen? I mean, like with people like calling and like saying
They're
stuff like,
just fans.
Everybody's
They're
out
just
fans.
to
They're
make a
just
buck.
fans.
You know, they
You can't
want to
take
ride
yourself
our
seriously.
coattails.
Coattails, yeah.
They're out to make a buck. I get it. They're trying to ride
They're
the
trying to-
Carlo
there's
coattails.
a-
Hop
yeah.
on the Carlo cruiser. What you know?
Yeah.
I appreciate the fans out there. I really do. But you know,
I think Cincinnati clearly got a few bad apples.
I wouldn't know. I've never been there.
I've never set foot in
And good dogs.
Yeah.
Good dogs though.
I've
yeah.
never
That
seen
was
a
good
peanut
dog.
butter in my life. I've never seen the dog peanut butter once.
What?
What?
Huh?
What was the question?
let's tackle the big gorilla in the room here. Your chest hair. What's up? I mean, do you have like a shampoo conditioner regimen for that, or like
what
Uh,
it is?
do
Now,
you trim it? And
no. You see, you take.
There's a secret formula.
Yeah, it's a secret
involved.
formula. It's beef
but-
tallow, and then you take some Irish Spring.
It's plastic surgery. Don't
It's
even
not
try and
plastic
act like
surgery.
it isn't.
It's not.
No
It's-
one's gonna be
you
able to
take-
copyright it because it's a specific
And then-
formula for you.
My wife Patricia has a special
Just
prayer
business.
she says on it every night to bless it, and then God willing, and the creek don't rise. I wake up the next day, and there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
It's a surgically implanted chest.
That's
I was
not.
there.
Do you want to talk about your eyebrows?
Which one?
Exactly. We're not getting
Here's
into
the
the
thing. Here's
plastic
the
surgery.
thing. Here's a fun fact, a little background story about
Don't-
City Rock 5000, right?
Oh, here he goes.
5,000.
Here he goes. Tell him what it means, Vic.
There's 5,000
Every
watts of power in the first amp Carlo Champagne ever used.
We
all
can't
right?
talk about
This
the
is-
Hollywood Bowl.
We're not talking about that. I'm just saying that back when I wasn't even the guitar player, I was just a stagehand for the other guitar player.
This is all made
I
up.
went to go fix the guitar amp, and it blew up in my face,
yeah.
and it
Legally,
seared the
this-
right side of my face.
Legally, we cannot confirm that this happened. This is not Vic.
You looked so cool at the time.
Don't.
You look so
I lost
cool.
half my face. I lost half my eyebrows.
Nope.
Yeah, that
I
was
lost
so
my
sick.
It's
right
not
nostril.
true.
What was the question?
Do you guys feel that, chest hair aside, it's almost, I can't stop looking at it, and I don't know
get
why
a
that
lot.
is,
I
but
understand.
besides the chest hair, your style overall, you guys have a vibe. I mean, is that something, are you dressing like that every day, or do you dress like that on show days? Have you decided to dress modern?
I'm dressed like this because I'm doing some of that theta testing or whatever it's called for the new business venture, and it's more or less a rodeo massage business.
Oh, you're telling me.
And I can't say too much, but you can ride a lot better on a rodeo if you're limbered up. I tell you,
Well,
it's a multimedia company.
That's a classic.
That's all I can say. It's just business.
Here's the thing. They don't make clothes like they used to. Okay, they
Oh, my
stopped
God, no.
back in 1982. They stopped making clothes like they used to, and so why would I buy new clothes if I'm not gonna look this good?
Here's the other thing no one wants
These
to talk
dang
about.
kids.
I paid a nickel for this tie
You
back
paid
in
a nickel
'82.
back
I tried
in
to go
82.
buying a tie at the Kohl's Supermart, and they were closed down. First off, I tried going to
Oh,
Shopko
terrible.
first. They were closed. I
Terrible.
tried going to Kmart. They were closed.
Where do you buy a tie?
Where do you buy
thing
it?
is, how do you know?
I don't know.
Because what you do is you give
Huh?
your clothes to the thrift store, and then as soon as somebody
Like
buys
the
it, that's
song.
when you know it's good.
Oh, that's
So
what the
then you
song
take
is
back
about.
the clothes.
And that's it. And these kids with they got the
These
pants
kids.
with the holes in them. There's no class anymore.
People are putting artificial holes in paints. I'm sorry.
Artificial
When I
hole-
was a kid, there was 3 holes for your legs and your torso.
I'm sorry, I'm just getting teared up because
Can't believe it anymore.
what is this world coming to,
You
man?
always did get really passionate about fashion.
We had a comment here from Bob Minter, who he's the architect. He's a man behind Code Zero.
Oh,
This might be an insult. Has the witness protection program fallen this far? I don't know if that.
How did
Maybe
you?
I probably shouldn't have put that one on there.
How did you find out?
how did they know?
He's
Who
probably
slipped?
got a good nephew.
I don't.
Thomas, I
Who's
swear to
Thomas?
God. I swear to God. If you said it.
Are you on the Instagrams?
My lips are sealed.
Are you on the Instagrams telling our secrets, Thomas?
I believe you, Thomas.
Take it out of his check.
I believe you,
Take
Thomas.
it out of his check.
Take it out of his check.
But just take it out of his check. Just
Take
in
it out of
case.
his check.
Just for safety.
It's all good.
Well, so you
It's
guys
just business.
in the past must have done the albums. Back in the 70s, it was vinyl, 8-tracks,
Yep.
cassette, stuff like that.
Yep.
So with that EP you guys released, is that just all digital? How does somebody get a hold of that?
Well, that was the test pressing, right? So we did the test pressing back in the 80s, I think.
89.
89, and we did that test pressing. We made 10. We said there's only 10 available to the world, and we hit them around because Carlo couldn't sign off on them, so we couldn't release it. So we just dug that around, and then Colton and Calvin.
Nice young boys.
Nice young boys. Went and took them, and they
Going places.
digitized them, as they told me.
Yeah, you can get them on the Amazon. I think they got them.
They got them on Amazon?
Yeah, you can get them on and you can also. I
That
found out today. You hit a button and then they'll just deliver paper towel to your home once a month. You don't even gotta go to Shopko.
What?
Go in the shop.
I think you can get it on the Apple's Music as well, and the
You can get paper towels on Apple Music?
and the Spotify's.
Spotify has paper towels. What a world we live in.
not Huh? What are we talking? What? I gotta take my meds.
You didn't take your
I
meds
got
yet?
him.
Okay.
Were you guys doing drugs back in the day? And that I probably shouldn't even ask that, but like the 70s and stuff, cocaine was big.
We had this grift.
Oh, buddy.
We had this grift on the when we were recording. So you make your budget,
Yeah.
and you pitch it. And we said we needed a fader engineer.
we got him with that one.
They didn't even know. They didn't even oldest trick in the book. We got $90,000
to do. Oh, mountain, dude.
Oh man!
What do you think Diamond Dusted Fingertips
What do you
means,
think
buddy?
that's about, man? The city rock. We're not talking about rock and roll.
Oh, baby.
Hey,
Well, I guess that kind of answers that question.
what was the question?
What was the question?
Yeah. What other shows do you guys have coming up?
I think we're playing with
We're playing
Shadows.
the Mile of Music.
Oh yeah, we're playing the Mile
Yeah.
of Music.
Yeah,
Anything
I'm gonna
besides?
be on a cart for that. I don't want to walk for the whole mile.
we'll get you the card.
We got you, little horsey.
Have you guys gone to the Mile of Music as a fan in the past?
I
don't,
think I
too many people.
Too many people talking at
I
once.
think I was working that day.
Too many people.
Are there any bands from the modern era that you guys are fans of or would like to play with?
Always been a big fan of Cher.
That new Haunting's pretty good.
Cher.
That guy's pretty good.
The Backstreet Boys. I hear that.
I heard the
they're
Backstreet
nice.
Boys.
They're
I've heard,
They
my
got a
nephew
good
was
rhythm.
telling me about
They
them.
got a good rhythm.
The
The Haunted
Remember
Castle.
that Michael kid?
I've heard.
He was pretty good.
Yep, there's those young cats out of Green Bay. We played a show at Sherry Street.
Oh, Sherry Lane. Those guys.
Sherry
you guys
Street.
They were in a documentary about you guys.
Yes, that young man.
I don't want to talk about the documentary.
Oh, what was wrong with the documentary? Was there a lot of?
He's
sensational?
there was. Here's some. There's a guy in.
I think his name was
David Byrne.
Tommy Tillman.
Tommy Tillman.
Talking about Tyler?
Tommy Tillman. Yeah, that's him. And he was saying something about je voudrais qu'est-ce que c'est. I don't know any of that French words, but he's trying to say that I killed somebody, but I think that's ChatGPT.
I wouldn't say that.
Chad.
You also got what other cats? Well, we played shows with some folks.
Huey Lewis in the News.
Oh,
That's who I want to
Huey.
play with.
Well, that's
Huey.
not. They're not really modern though. That's about like modern.
What?
What about bands like Horace Green, Scary Canaries, Traveling Suitcase? I could go on and on. The Independent Variable.
Who?
I'd have to ask my nephew.
I don't know any of those bands.
I'd have to ask my nephew. They sound nice.
They seem very talented.
As long as they got, the kids, they're not playing. They're going on their computer and they're pressing a button and they're saying, "Give me drums, give me a trumpet." And where's the art? Where's the passion? Where's the real music, man? So as long as they're putting in the work, making real music, I wish them nothing but the best. But the kids these days,
these kids
they
don't know how to get
know what
down,
real music
downtown.
is. They don't know what real music is. It makes me want to cry.
Do you know how many times we had to rock the city to write City Rock 5000? How many of these
5,000
kids?
times.
How many of these kids are even getting out of their little homes these days?
They're
Okay,
sitting at home. They're playing the Super Nintendo.
they're playing the Super Mario
They're
Brothers.
playing the Super Mario's, and they're not writing real music. They're not. They're saying,
Yeah,
"Oh,
ChatGPT.
give me a trumpet."
Give me a J
Give me a
Dilla beat.
saxophone.
Whatever the heck a J Dilla beat is, that didn't exist in my day.
Think
Jay Dilla.
Oh, this is a. Ooh, this is. I probably shouldn't read this one either, but I will. Morgan Foss said, "Skid Montana owes my mother $30,000 in child support."
No. Tell Sandra it's coming. The Wire is coming. The Wire is coming.
Who's saying?
Sandra,
I don't know. I
it's
can
coming.
only assume.
The Wire is coming.
It sounds
Wire
like
is
it
coming.
would be a Sandra.
Skid is on a payment plan. and
Statistically
we
speaking,
cannot
there's a lot of
divulge
Sandras and a lot of them.
the information of that.
I might
payment.
owe
It's-
some money.
He's in a certain tax
So,
bracket.
here's the other Skid. You were telling me about this little loophole you found. So every time you get a new name, you open a credit card in that name.
If I had a
never
nickel for every
find out.
time that I did a bad business
able to pay
deal
your
with
child
a
support.
Sandra.
We've got another comment here from Levi Besaw. He's in a great band called The Sinking Lessons, which
Oh,
you
the
guys should check
sinking
out.
lesson.
The singing lessons, yes.
He
I could
said
use some of
that
those.
Carlo Champagne is ChatGPT. So, what do you think about that?
ChatGPT. I don't think I met him, but I know he's out there and he's stealing.
He's making
art.
too many
making,
things.
He's making
a
and
quick
real
buck.
music is not.
It's my
one of them.
understanding. You send it Chad an email, and then he sends you back a
The
picture
trumpet.
of, say, a car or a cat,
A little
or
kitty
whatever
cat,
picture
yeah.
you want. Is my understanding. You can say, give me drums, order paper towels, and he works in an office.
He's got a lot of pictures in his office, and he's got a
And-
lot
and
of
he
fax
faxes
machines.
them over to you.
And here's the other thing
I
I
get
want to
it.
know: why
He's
is there
pretty
so
quick
many
with it.
apps? You notice that? Why is there so many apps for everything? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that?
There's like-
We don't
there's an
need
app for
I went out to get a hamburger.
They're trying to give me half of the app.
I had to take a picture with my phone to order a
what?
hamburger
Of what?
of the little thing on the
A little
table.
thing. What do
And
you
I'm
mean?
trying to order a hamburger.
I know.
Thomas, what do you think? You're a young kid. How do you do it? How do you do all the apps?
It's tough, man. It's hard to keep up with the
Thank
modern
you.
world. So you gotta keep.
Thomas
staying on
God
top.
bless you,
Thomas
Thomas.
gets it.
He's
He's
the only
one of the
reason.
good
gets
ones
it.
He's
making
the
real
only.
music.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you
Oh.
was with us back then.
Oh,
When you meet a guy like Thomas, do you scan an app? Do you scan
You
a little
don't have
QR
to-
code? No, you get out and you talk to people like we used to. We used to be a nation of talking to
We used to be a
people.
real nation.
Nobody
Talk
talks
to
to each other anymore. But people are talking way too much.
It's all texting.
People,
it's all
it's
this.
all
It's all this. Come
It's
on.
not-
You're
if we
going
had
to
a
get
little more
sore
of this
thumbs.
and a
You're
little
gonna
less
get
of this,
sore
we'd get
thumbs.
somewhere.
Thank you. Finally, somebody says it.
Sorry, what was the question?
Is there any website or any place somebody should go to find out more information about you guys? I know there's a fan site on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, as Colton set that up, I think. Yeah,
Well,
Well-
again, his name's Collin. Like I would.
yeah Colton.
Colton, I hear you can ask Jeeves. This fella,
That's right.
I think he knows Chad.
Yeah.
I think they're
Jeeves and
rivals.
Chad are in the same boat.
And you can go to the Instagram. My nephew Kevin set that up.
If you want to figure
Right
out
when
anything
he's
about
whiz
us,
on the iPad.
ask Thomas.
Ask
Just
Thomas.
ask Thomas.
He was on Vine. I'm
Back
told.
in the
Back
day.
in the day.
Back in the day, sure.
So Vine was you had these little. You could make a little YouTube that was only 10 seconds long. Just a little YouTube.
Just a little quick one.
Again, another app. It's the kids with these apps.
These kids with their attention spans for 10 seconds, let me tell you, no one can keep focus for more than
Nobody
18
can do-
seconds
You
anymore.
know why it's
No,
called
it's
TikTok?
ridiculous.
Because that's what the clock does when you're sitting there scrolling it.
It keeps going.
Nobody knows what's going on. That's stupid.
So
What was the question?
Me, least of all.
What can people expect at your show at Model Music?
Real music.
Loud guitars.
Real American rock and roll disco music.
City pop, glam,
Heart.
heart to heart conversation.
True
You'll
love.
laugh, you'll cry,
You'll meet the love of your life.
you'll meet.
You'll
Skid will
lose
meet
the love of your life.
Yeah,
But you'll be better for it.
I
you'll
want
be better for it. You get it, Andy.
to thank you guys for coming on the show, and this was great that we got your first interview after all this time.
Feels good.
People can go check out the EP. It's available on the Bandcamp site. If you type Carlo Champagne in the Balcony Brothers
That's right.
Bandcamp, it'll come up. You should be able to purchase it that way. Do you guys have any last words?
Egg.
Stay luxurious.
Huh?
What was the question?
Thanks for having us.
Shut up.
Did we say you could talk, Thomas? Jesus, kid.
This kid.